Do you enjoy chaos? Chaos in its truest and purest form. Unbridled creation. If you do, then you're in luck because today we're talking about the Wyld. Hello everyone, welcome to the Maple Table. My name's Nathaniel. This is a channel where we discuss role-playing games such as Starfinder and Werewolf the Apocalypse. Thank you for dealing with the hiatus that I had been on over this month of November. It had been not a great month for me. A lot of stuff coming up with tests and new family responsibilities as well. So it's just kind of, that's been taking a lot of my time. I don't know if I passed that test that I had to write. Keeping a positive attitude, we'll assume that I did, and there'll be no more further interruptions. What is the Wyld? The Wyld is part of the Triat. I've mentioned this before in several of my previous videos. The Triat is representative of three spirits. You have the spirit of creation, you have the spirit of order. This is the Weaver. And then you have the spirit of destruction, and that would be the Worm. Together, when they're functioning properly, Wyld creates, Weaver forms some sort of semblance of order to it, and the Worm will make sure everything has an end. So starting at the beginning, the Wyld is a force of endless creation. It spawns everything that exists. And although it does create, it always is improving on itself. Wyld is never the same thing, never the same creature, the same essence. It's always changing. So its spiritual presence is always in flux. Any creature or species that has evolved has had some form of touch from the Wyld. And although it is able to create without any restrictions or any limitations, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should.
Another aspect of the Wyld, outside of just being creation, is just pure random chance. It is complete chaos. And chaos in the truest sense of the word. Some are really able to find their peace in this chance that they really have no control over anything. And some really just can't let go of the fact that they have no control. When it comes to the Guru and the tribes that revere the Wyld and have the utmost respect for the Wyld, you're looking at the Black Furies and the Red Talons. They are the two tribes in the Guru Nation who really celebrate everything that the Wyld is about. The great creation, random chance. These are aspects of the Wyld, and they're ones that the Red Talons and the Black Furies really latch onto. Now, counter to them, there is a changing breed as well who reveres the Wyld more so than Gaia. They believe that the Wyld is the beginning place, the spot where life was formed, and they may not be entirely wrong, since that is kind of what the Wyld is all about, and that would be the Ratkin. Of these three tribes, I have talked about all of them. I will have links in the description below so you can check them out. Now, your chances of actually running into the Wyld itself as a spirit are very slim. But because of the nature of random chance, there is a possibility that it would happen. Your probability that that would happen is very low. Regardless, if you did ever run into this, the essence of the spirit of the Wyld, it would probably kill you. Not out of maliciousness or spite, but simply because of all the craziness that can come from being around that spirit. It's not going to look good for you. If it doesn't kill you, you might just grow a third limb or another eye or some other form of appendage. So how does the Wyld spread its influence through the world of darkness? This would be through its various spirit forms. Again, these spirits are random, literally random, not like that girl that you knew in high school. Everything that they would do does have some form of consequence, but the spirit doesn't care about the consequence. Everything that the spirit of the Wyld does, even in its miniature forms or its avatars or whatever it is, to them, it's just a coincidence or just dumb luck. Anything that happened, whether you grew a third arm or invented a new form of apple, this is just par for the course. The Wyld cannot be contained. If you're performing any sort of rite or ritual to try to contain the essence of Wyld or the spirit of the Wyld, you won't. Your ritual may succeed, but you can never contain that which can't be contained. Some guru would actually argue that Gaia herself came from the essence of the Wyld because nothing would exist without the Wyld. If you're enjoying the video today, I will encourage you to please hit that like button, as that really does help me with the YouTube algorithm, and I really need it after my bit of a hiatus for November. And if you're enjoying the video and want to get more like this from myself, then please hit that subscribe button and join me at the table. That would be fantastic. Of the three aspects of the Triat, the Wyld is probably the hardest one to nail down with an actual form or an actual presence. Some would say to personify. What makes this so challenging is the nature of the Wyld itself and how much it changes. So if you were to set a true and proper form to it, by nature it would change. There are many forms that the Wyld can take, and its minor spirit forms, there's no limit to what those can look like. But the Wyld is most commonly associated with nature, and many of its spirits will take on forms of nature. Animals, butterflies, fairies, whatever form it takes, it will appear as if it's natural, but it will be some of the most vibrant and beautiful looking version of whatever the thing is you're looking at that you have ever seen. It is more likely that a guru would experience a spirit such as this in their travels, not the direct essence of Wyld itself. And these spirit forms could, as I've mentioned, take on any animal form. They could take on an animate ray of sunshine, or even a smell. And the Wyld will personify whatever form it is with its essence. You know that smell after it rains? That's called petrichor. The Wyld could take this form as well, as personified petrichor. So where does the Wyld reside? The Wyld lives in the near Umbra. It's actually separated from the world of the living and the deep Umbra by the gauntlet. And be thankful that the Wyld can't get into the deep Umbra. With the way that things are with the Triat right now, the Wyld can still create, but it has some limits on its creation, and that is thanks to the Weaver. The Wyld creates for the sake of creation, and if something that the Weaver likes, or when it sees it and it likes it, it will allow it to live for a period of time. So it's said. The Wyld actually has a primal forge, and this is where it will make its creations. If the Wyld was ever able to get into the deep Umbra, holy crap, that would be bad. Because then it would literally have no limits on what it creates, because the Weaver's influence just doesn't exist in the deep Umbra. The Wyld would arguably be one of the most powerful spirits in the deep Umbra, due to its just unrivaled ability to create. And actually, on the flip side of that, the Wyld is actually weakest in the physical realm, the one that we exist in right now. Simply because the Weaver has such influence over the natural order of things, the Wyld wouldn't be able to go buck wild. I'll see myself out. That was bad. The Wyld serves as a symbol to the Guru Nation of their never-ending struggle against the apocalypse that is coming. All of the realms that the Wyld has touched, whether it's exerted a lot of influence or not, have life in them. To the Guru, the Wyld is the embodiment of hope. It's a promise of change. A promise that the world can change. And the path that the world is on right now to this horrible apocalyptic ending, it can all be avoided. And while no guru would ever tell you that they expect to see physical, actual aid from the spirit of Wyld itself, they will tell you that it is a powerful ally. Basically, the point that I'm trying to make is it's very difficult to put an actual shape or a personification of the Wyld because it can't be done. But for anyone who is looking to incorporate this into their adventures or into their own chronicles, you have such creativity, you have such an open book to use whatever you want for your own storytellings, your own plot devices. And for someone like me who likes a loose structure of game world history to work with, so I can take what's there, run with it, and make it my own for my players, using the essence of the Wyld in my stories is super easy to do, and the possibilities that this stirs up even as I'm talking about this with you. I have so many ideas. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the Wyld. Was there anything that I missed? Is there an aspect that you appreciate that I didn't hammer home enough? Don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button. Up on the screen, I will have a playlist of the Garou tribes so you can take a look at them. YouTube will have made a recommendation for you there as well. My name's Nathaniel. You've been watching The Maple Table. Thank you so much for your subscription. Thanks for stopping by, everyone.